Today I'm going to be talking about JFK's inaugural address. The claim was that the American people and the people all over the world can achieve peace and freedom. The thesis is that freedom must prevail and the U.S. will do what it has to do to advance freedom around the world, and it is up to the United States people to make their country a better place. The speaker is John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States. He was a part of the Democratic Party and was sworn in at the height of the Cold War. The majority of his presidency dealt with managing relations with the Soviet Union. Before he was president, he represented the state of Massachusetts in the House of Representatives and the Senate. And before his political career, he was a part of the United States Navy. The occasion was the inauguration and swearing in of President John F. Kennedy. It was held on Friday, January 20th, 1961 at the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. The larger occasion of this event was the addressing of the fear of nuclear destruction in the Cold War, as this was a prominent issue during the time JFK was president. There was currently a divide in the nation, as JFK's win over Richard Nixon was the closest in any presidential election since 1916. The direct audience of JFK's speech was the American people, those who supported his election and those who did not support his election. However, his indirect audience was the international allies, in which he addressed in his speech in order to create trust between other countries and the United States. The purpose is for JFK to affirm America's traditional ideas and commitments. He communicates the need for peace to be established between not only the American political parties, but also between all the countries involved in the Cold War. President Kennedy begins his speech with a patriotic tone in order to create a sense of pride within the citizens. By the end of the speech, he has switched to an inspirational tone in order to unite the people and to inspire them to believe that we will get over the Cold War and achieve peace and freedom. Now moving on to strategies. The strongest rhetorical strategy JFK uses is illusions, and his first one reads, "I have sworn before you and Almighty God the same solemn oath our forebears prescribed nearly a century and 3/4 ago." This alludes to Patrick Henry, Samuel Adams, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, James Madison, and John Hancock, also known as the Founding Fathers of the United States. The Founding Fathers broke America away from England, which gave America freedom and peace. JFK uses this illusion to reach a common ground with the American people, in which he knows that the 34 presidents before him have all made the same oath, including our Founding Fathers, and America has stayed free for all these years. This illusion was used to prove to the American people that JFK is capable of maintaining the freedom and peace fought for by our Founding Fathers. The next illusion reads, "Let both sides unite to heed in all corners of the earth the command of Isaiah, to undo the heavy burdens and let the oppressed go free." This alludes to the part of the prophet of Isaiah which reads, "Is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke?" JFK, a Roman Catholic himself, is using the prophet of Isaiah to prove that it is not oppression that God desires, and we need to get over this oppression to eventually have freedom and peace granted to us. President Kennedy is making a pointed reference to tyrannical regimes of oppression. He's saying to the people that freedom and peace are one way and tyranny is the other. One last illusion President Kennedy uses is when he states, "With a good conscience, our only sure reward, with history, the final judge of our deeds." This quote might sound familiar, as JFK is alluding to President Lincoln's second inaugural address when Abraham Lincoln said, "With malice toward none, with charity toward all." As stated at the beginning, JFK claims to the American people and the people all around the world that we can achieve peace and freedom. So who better to allude to than the president that fought for slaves' freedom? Both presidents' objective was to reinforce that today's present will be tomorrow's past, and that as long as we keep working for what we know is right, we will eventually gain the peace and freedom we deserve.